gotta take my goat smelling ass back in there. God.
This is a fancy smancy Linux unit in some fancy ass house. Some highfalutin people living here. And this blower motor ain't working. When you give it a call for fan, it does nothing. So I've connected a ECM motor tester to the motor. You see it plugged in back there. Barely, but I turn it on, and what happens to the motor? I don't see it doing anything. It's almost like the motor is bad. Imagine that. So, naturally, in light of that, we're going to replace the motor and the module and the board. Alright, now that we've replaced the igniter, maybe I can get to replacing the blower motor? You know, them screws were only finger tight. So what's the deal with that goofy mounting bracket? Come on, y'all, did you have to? Linux is just full of this crap. And let me take note of the fact that the connector is here while the bracket is like this. And it's that far from the front of the motor. So I got my new 3-phase synchronous motor and my inverter driver and decorative ring that goes on the inverter driver. It does not come with the necessary screws to install it. You have to rob those out of the old motor. Easy toner, the Tiger, squeezy. Now we got the new control board in the little mounting plate with its custom little plastic standoffs that they supplied, as you can see. Zip tie that stupid connector back together because the clip broke off of it. I gotta add this little blue wire to the 12-pin connector. Now I gotta replace this harness because, you know, different plug. So now that that's done, wires are all hooked back up to the board, neatly zip tied. Gotta hook all this stuff up down here, and this blue wire that they needed to plug into the board on pin 3 of the little 24-pin connector, 12-pin connector thing goes to R. What's the point of that? That's part of it. So now that's all hooked up, and the 16-pin connector is hooked up, and igniter's fucking replaced and stuff. So I guess the unit's gonna work now, right? Well, let's see what it does. Power on. Doesn't seem to be dead. That's nice. Status light blinks red once every now and then. Control standby, everything's good. Nice. Call for fan. Hey! The blower works and it goes in the right direction. It's pretty convenient. I was hoping that would happen. Oh, it would really aggravate me if that wasn't what happened. So, take away our call for fan. Blower slowly ramps down. Yeah, we cool. Focusing on the beam. Sway. Call for heat. Sway. That's pretty cool. Assume the blower's going to run at some point too. So magically the unit's fixed after, you know, a couple of hours of replacing the igniter over a bad blower motor. Now, I know that some inexperienced people in the audience might be thinking or shouting at their screen or typing in the comment section, "You idiot, you tested the motor with the ECM motor tester. Why would you replace the board if the motor was obviously bad?" And the answer to that question is, duh. This is a 16-pin ECM motor. You see that wire with the 16 wires? You never ever replace one of those motors partially. If it ain't running, it either gets ripped out and replaced with an PSC motor and a relay, or this gets done. And it just so happens that replacing this board required replacing the igniter, so we had to do that. Only inexperienced people think you can replace just an ECM blower. If it's got 16 pins, it's garbage. You don't put in a new motor and hope the board's good, or replace the board and hope the motor's good. If this wasn't a variable speed in a rich person's house, I would have ripped it out and put in a PSC motor. But because I didn't do that, you get to see the process. And now we know why you never use the customer's bathroom. Well, fast forward a few weeks, and this unit is working perfectly. Everything's good. The area that it's meant to cool, the upstairs bedroom, is working fine, is cooling fine. But the kitchen's not. So naturally, Chicken Dick, the owner of this equipment, has called in complaining that we keep having to fix this unit, the 2006 Linux unit that he said was 6 years old last time. And he just doesn't understand it. He just don't understand why you gotta keep this. It's 20 fucking years old, you idiot. This is the unit that's not cooling. It's blowing air. It's shining blue light. See it in there? No, you can't see it. Just take my word for it. It's got a UV light. And it ain't cooling. But it's blowing. So we need to go outside and look at the condenser. So this is an Amanda unit. This one over here is a Bryant, and that other one is a Linux. So we come out here by the fancy ass pool and jacuzzi and stuff, and the fancy ass plumbing stuff for the pool. It's recently been repaired. There was a lot broken here last time. And here's our condensers. You can see that this unit, the Linux, is cooling just fine. And this unit here, the Bryant, just cut on and it's cooling just fine. This one over here, the Amanda for the kitchen, ain't cooling. Smells kind of like something died over here. Fancy $1 million house, but this is the HVAC system. It's fucking way she goes, boys. Fucking way she goes. Goddamn erections ruin the night. Now, lo and behold, the little thing is locked out on locked rotor trips because overamping. It's got the little hard start machine on it, and it doesn't appear to have vented and stuff. What do you think's gonna happen if I push in that contactor? Hey, look at that. Fan even runs. That's really something. This is the newest unit. I did install this unit not that terribly long ago, I think, but Chicken Dick was convinced it was that one. See, the thing is, Chicken Dick doesn't live in this house. He lives 1,000 miles away. And the house is up for sale, and there is a groundskeeper that's here. And occasionally, said groundskeeper contacts him with problems, and he doesn't actually know what's going on here. He only knows what the groundskeeper tells him. And the groundskeeper doesn't know all that much. Well, anyway, I'm inclined now to check these capacitors to see, if they're good and stuff. We're going to turn off the disconnect. I'm looking around and follow the whip over here, and what couldn't be bothered with having the disconnect anywhere remotely accessible. So, but we do have a 2-pole contactor. So as long as the contactor doesn't pull in, we're all set. And I can prevent the contactor from pulling in by just taking these wires off of it. Provided nobody comes and pushes in that armature while I'm working. We're good to just check these things all we want and not going to get electrocuted. Right? What are these going to? What are they doing? Got a red and black wire down here. It's scary. I don't know about the black and red wire. Like different too. Oh, well, that one just goes there. I bet that's to a crankcase heater. Oh yeah. Yeah, that goes to a crankcase heater. Yeah, you definitely can see it past that conduit. So yeah, we're good, we're good. 310 mics. Yeah, buddy. So yeah, the start capacitor checks out fine. But while I was about to check the run capacitor, I noticed something a little fishy going on here. These 2 blue wires here, they're for the hard start. They're supposed to go across the run capacitor, but if you look at where they're connected, one's on perm and the other's on fan. Is not connected. The hard start hasn't been used ever. Whoever installed this hard start did it wrong, and I don't know how they managed to do it that kind of wrong, because that's obvious. What the heck? Well, I looked into the history and stuff and figured out that Sister Mary Moltar did that. He was out here 4th of April and he installed that hard start. It says here in his report that I made my way outside to the condenser and opened up the electrical compartment and immediately noticed that the hard start was blown up. I then contacted Colonel Leslie Dancer to ask about how do I do warranty. Colonel Dancer then walked me through how to do a warranty. I changed the hard start. The truck stock hard start that I use was a 3.5 to 5 ton hard start. Everything is up and running at manufacturer specification. That's on the customer's invoice. He wrote that where the customer reads it. Why would you do that, man? Really? Well, anyway, Sister Mary Moltar fucked this up. He replaced this hard start and he just put this wire in the wrong place. It's supposed to be here. Alright, she's all fixed. So now I can hook these wires back up. W-A-R-Z. That's how you say it in bumfuck Egypt. Wires. So hook these back up. And I take this here, Y, here, that leads over here to this, over here. And I pull it off. And it'll make the little box go dead. And then I hook it back up. Boom. She's good to go. And actually has a hard start on it now, so maybe it won't trip out like that again. And I didn't even need to come down here and turn the disconnect off. You know, looks like Chicken Dick got his wish. It was actually warranty. In-house warranty. A callback. But that's not. Looks like his water heater's leaking. I like that the pan drain just drains onto the floor. That's pretty cool, right? Very effective. So, yeah. I don't know, Chicken Dick, you might want to look into that if you're going to try to sell this place. And this had nothing to do with it. This wasn't warranty. This cost over $3 grand to fix. But yeah, this one's going to be free. And $1 million house. Cheapskate. I'll admit, it's always the way it goes. This door right here, that door costs more than my car. And I'm supposed to have sympathy for these guys.